Hi, in this lesson we're going to be talking about some of the more common system commands you could use in Windows from the command prompt. Alright, so we're going to start with the CLS command, which is simply just to clear the screen. So let's say you did an ipconfig /all, and let's say you did an ipconfig question mark, and you have all this stuff on the screen. You just want to kind of get rid of it and start over. Instead of closing the window, opening a new one, just type in CLS. And then it clears out the screen. And of course, you could still do the up arrow to get to your previous prompts, like so. Okay, so the next two commands are used to show us what version of Windows we are running. So if we type in VER for version, you can see it says version 10.0.22 and so on. So even though this says Windows 10 and we're on Windows 11 here, don't get confused, because I believe anything over 22,000 is for Windows 11, even though it uses 10 at the beginning here. So a command you might like better is called winver, and that pops up a screen here and tells you the build number, so 22631 right here, and this tells you it's Windows 11 23H2. Then of course you could go to your Windows settings under System and About and get similar information. Okay, so the next one we're going to run is called SystemInfo. Let me clear the screen here. Okay, so this gives you various information about your computer. You got the host name, same OS version information, installation date. So this version of Windows was installed on December 4th, 2023. Was booted up on the 6th, which is today. Processor information, BIOS information, where it's booting from, location, what workgroup it's in or domain, where the page file is, how much memory it has available, network information, and so on. So it's a nice bit of information from that command there. All right, let's clear the screen again. All right, the next one is hostname. So if you want to know what your computer name is, just type in hostname. So this is Win11 Pro. So it's the same type of information you could get from the Windows settings from the About section, Win11 Pro right there. All right, so the next command on our list is whoami. So if you want to find your username, you could type that in. So here's the computer name and the username. And then this username will match your user folder in Windows right here, .s. All right, so next on our list is netuser. So if we just do netuser by itself, you can see it shows the accounts on this computer here. And if we do netuser with the help here, you can see you have some options for the commands here. So if you want to change a password, add a user with the add command, change domain information, delete a user, make a user active or inactive, you could use these various switches here. Okay, clear again. All right, so SFC scan now, the system file checker. So this will actually check your Windows system files and then fix any problems that it might find. So this takes a while to run, so I won't actually run it. So this is a good one if you're having some kind of random Windows problems and you just want to see if it could find any corrupted files and repair them. So it'll only be Windows system files. It's not going to repair any of your programs or software or anything like that. Okay, then we have the Chkdsk command to check your hard drive for errors. So if we just run it like that, it'll run the check on the C drive here. But if we do the question mark here for help, we could see all the switches we could use. If you want to change the volume, if you want to fix errors on the disk with F, use the R switch to locate bad sectors and recover readable information. Dismount volumes if applicable. Do a scan only with the /scan. And that type of thing. So let's try this. Let's do the Z drive. It's just a little partition I have on here. We'll do the /scan. Okay, so that was nice and quick because it's just a 10 gig drive with nothing really on it. So examining the file system, file verification, examining file name linkage, index verification, examining security descriptors, and then Windows has scanned the file system and found no problems. No further action is required. So So many times when you run the Chkdsk, depending on what drive you're doing or what switches you're using, it might say it can't do it unless you do a reboot, and then it'll ask you if you want to perform the scan on the next reboot. And if you say yes, then the next time you start your computer, it'll go through a Chkdsk screen like this before it actually gets into Windows, and then when it's done, it'll boot up into Windows normally. All right, let's clear the screen again. All right, so next we have Tasklist. So this shows you the running tasks on your computer here. As you can see, there's quite a bit. So you have the image name, the PID, process ID, session name, session number, and how much memory it's using. So now if you want to kill one of these tasks, you would use the taskkill command. So let's scroll down to the bottom here. Okay, so if you just run taskkill by itself, you're not going to get anywhere because you need to use one of these switches. So one of the more common ones is using the /PID or process ID. So we have Word open here, so let's find Word in the list here, right there, with a process ID of 10804. So taskkill /PID 10804. All right, so watch Word down here that it's open. Press Enter. Okay, sent termination signal to the process with ID 10084. Now you can see Word is closed. Then you can do the same thing with the /im for image name, and then you could do the image name. So let's do mspaint.exe because that's running down here as well. Okay, you can see it closed that down as well. All right, so you can use Tasklist to list all the tasks that are running, and then you could use Taskkill to kill anything that's giving you a problem. And of course, you could do something similar from Task Manager, like you've seen before. Just simply right-click on what's causing the problem, end task, same type of process. All right, let's clear the screen again. All right, now we're going to talk about net stop. You could use these to stop and start services as needed. All right, so if you want to see your running services first, you could use one of these commands here. So if you just type in net start, it'll tell you pretty much what's running here too, but you could also use this command here to give you a more detailed view of what's running, as you can see here. Then you could use this command to see all services, whether they're running or not. It'll give you the same view. And then you could use this one here to see stop services, like this. You can see it says it's stopped right there. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's look at the services here. We're going to stop this AnyViewer service. So we're going to do a net stop. We have to have the name here, so we'll put it in quotes because it has the spaces. Like so. Let me get this off to the side here. So right now it's running. Okay, now it says it stopped it. I'm going to give it a second here. Might have to refresh. Okay, so now it's stopped. And then we could do the same thing, just start it up, but instead of using net stop, we'll use net start. Okay, refresh it here, and now it's running. Simple as that. So once again, you could use net start to see what's running, or probably better off using one of these commands to see running services, all services, or stop services, and then use net stop and net start as needed to start and stop these services. All right, so there's your basic overview of the common system commands you'll find in Windows. It's always a good idea just to run the command with the /?, just to see what your options are, what switches you could use. And then, of course, if you type it in and it tells you that you need a switch, then you'll have to add the switch from the list there and then take it from there.